Broker and shipper tried to bribe me and make me run illegally today. Plus, should still make that plane on this episode of
The Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and furry studio audience that is Rusty, the unbalanced, and definitely a meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, it's 8:46 a.m. I'm at the shipper, been here since about 7:15. A little confusion as to was this the right address or not, because of course there is no signage of any kind. It says Tell Windows and Doors Manufacturing, and apparently they just rent space here in this warehouse, this Fleenor paper. They got me loaded. I closed the doors, pulled forward, checked the app weigh, and I'm over gross by around 1,400 pounds. If you followed when I was overweight with that watermelon load, and I had to readjust my app weigh to get it calibrated correctly, and I said I notched it up just a little bit, so it might be a couple hundred pounds high, but that still means I'm over gross. And I'm not playing that game again. So I haven't left the shipper, and I called the broker and said, look, you got to do something about this. You got to at least take one of those pallets off or something. I'm not moving. So now I'm waiting on them to call me back. Well, just heard back from the broker, and I got a text from, I guess, the shipper at the same time saying, well, we can't cut the load. Can you cut your fuel down at all? I'm just over a quarter tank. No, I can't cut the fuel down anymore. It always kills me how they just think you can, oh, if you can just magically rearrange it somehow, maybe that extra weight will just disappear. I know before I had a load a couple of weeks ago, and I said, look, you need to rearrange that, and I did a video about that, picking up in Virginia. And I remember somebody, it was the broker, I think, and said, well, can you just have them rearrange it? I'm like, rearranging does not make weight disappear. It just moves where it's going to be, but that doesn't make things lighter. It's physics, people. So, we'll just see what's going to happen now. Okay, you'll love this. Yeah, the shipper was basically trying to bully me into taking the load and bribe me even. They kept sending texts saying, well, if we give you $100 cash, will you just go? Okay, obviously you're not very bright, because now I have proof that you're trying to bribe me, and you're trying to bully me into taking the load illegally when you know it's overweight. So, but they're trying to just get me to go. Shippers will do that. The broker's taking it a lot more seriously because, of course, brokers have to have an MC number just like, trucking companies do. They can get in big trouble with that. And now I've got proof from this shipper trying to bully me and to bribe me and to make me take the load illegally. It's like, yeah, you're not too bright. And I know, I'm not doing that. I lucked out in Florida that my overweight ticket was only $68. I know some states that can be into the hundreds or even thousands. I'm not going to play that game. And you're not going to bully me into taking a load that's overweight. And you know the shipper knew it was overweight. On this paper it says 44,000 pounds, and they scratched it out. So you know it's overweight. Oh, it looks like this pickup is coming back. I think this is the people who loaded me. Alright, well, finally got it all solved for the most part. They ended up taking one pallet off. Each pallet was supposed to weigh around 2,000 pounds, so there you go. Puts us under gross. I got the trailer tandems and the driver tandems to scale out right. I love it when they plant trees along the side of the road like this. They don't take big trucks into consideration. We can't see around them when they're like that. Anyway, so yeah, they finally took it off. They tried to bully me and everything. No. Daddy don't play that. You're not going to intimidate me and try to make me run illegally. Yeah, thank you. You were at a stop sign. It took me a little while to pull out, so get over it. Frickin' people. I say it all the time, I hate people.
We're left at the traffic light.
But anyway, so, at least they finally did it. I can't believe they tried to intimidate me that way and tried to make me run illegally. Oh, we'll give you $100 if you just take it. Really? Okay, I've caught you now bribing me, and like I said, the broker took it a little more seriously because they can lose their license over that. So, but at least at this point, all seems to be resolved. And I should still be able to put some fuel on. I won't be able to fill all the way up. And I'll figure that out here in a little bit. But, crazy. I just can't believe they tried to do that. Like, no, I've been out here too long. I've been doing this too long. You're not going to intimidate me. No. All right, yeah, so there's a good lesson for you, especially you new drivers. Don't let brokers or shippers intimidate you into taking a load that you know is illegal and that you know is overweight. Because who pays? You do. You know, as I've said in many videos, it's always the driver's fault. Don't let them coerce you into doing that. If this load's too heavy, you tell them, hey, you told me this load was going to be 42,000 pounds, which I know I can take. Because I can take 42.5 with full tanks. I wasn't even full. So, you know they're lying. So, no, you're not going to intimidate me to take it. Sorry. You got to take some off. They kept acting like that would be the end of the world. Okay, so the receiver in Aurora gets one less pallet full of this newspaper bread. They can get it in a couple days. It's not going to be the end of the world. My God. Anyway, don't let anyone intimidate you like that, drivers. Don't, because it's your license, it's your ass. Alright, so it's going to stop at this Road Ranger. Of course, the fuel prices have gone up again in the last couple of days. So this is going to be the cheapest fuel, Road Ranger just north of Waco, Texas. And it's going to be the cheapest, well, it's cheaper than where I was, and it's going to be the cheapest all the way up through Colorado. I'm going to put on as much as I can, and of course now because this load is still kind of heavy, I'm going to have to play the fuel game. I figured out how many miles it is from where I got loaded to where I'm going. I'm averaging about 5.17 miles a gallon. I went ahead and did the math at 5.25 miles a gallon to edge it a little high, so I know I'll be safe. So I know I will have burned off roughly 33.3 gallons between there and where I'm going to fill up. As the Appway showed me, I should have been able to put on, after they took that pallet off, roughly 87 gallons. So, what's my total? 87, 97, 107, 27, right? So I should be able to put on roughly 130 gallons and still be legal. So I might even be able to put on a little bit more because the next weigh station won't be for a little while, so you can take that into account. You got to do all the math, play the fuel game, but I want to get as much as I can because that's going to be cheaper once I get up into Colorado. In northern Texas, further up, it was like 543. Colorado is like around 526 or something right now. So I'd rather get up in there before I have to fuel again. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, we're getting close to this Road Ranger.
1 3/4 miles. Take exit 342B on the right toward US 77 business route.
If you're wondering how to do the math on that, all you got to do is I figured out how many gallons I could have put on when I was there, based on the way it looked on my new weight. So what you have to know is that diesel fuel weighs approximately 7 pounds per gallon. It's actually more like 6.87, blah, 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 but 7 is just an easier number to go with. And so what I did is I was able to calculate where my drives were at that time. And I had like 650 pounds worth of room, so you divide that by weight of the fuel, and that's how I came up with the 87 gallons I could have put on then. And then with the miles I drove here, you do the same. Well, I averaged it by 5.25 miles per gallon because I was getting a little bit below that. So if you estimate higher, then you're not going to put too much on. And again, you
take exit 342B on the right toward US 77 business route.
By the 7 pounds per gallon, and that's how you come up with that. That's how I came up with 33. My math was wrong earlier. It's about 120 gallons I should be able to put on here. So that's how you do that. I'm also gonna, if they have a cat scale here, I'm gonna double check that just to be doubly sure and make sure my
3/4
is
of a mile.
calibrated
Arrive at Road Ranger Travel Centers on the right.
correctly. Oh my God, Garmin, sometimes you're annoying. Somebody put in the comments that they talk to their Garmin too, which I think is hilarious. Alright, I'm coming over to the right. There you go. I see it up ahead. I don't know if it has a scale or not. But, well, hope they do. Road Rangers typically do, but it's the first time I've ever stopped at a Road Ranger down here in Texas. Ah, I do see a cat scale there. Good. So, we will go onto the cat scale first, then I'll pull off of the cat scale, recheck my app weight and see what it's doing, and we'll see how close it is. Then I'll recalculate again and make sure I know exactly how much fuel I can put on. Where are they heading
400
into here?
feet. Arrive at Road Ranger Travel Centers on the right.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm already here, Garmin. Thank you. Okay, so let's get ourselves around to the kitty scale. The reason it's called cat scale, by the way, if you've ever wondered, that just stands for Certified Automatic Truck Scale. CAT. That's why it's called that. And yet they put it over here where I can't enter that direction. That's interesting. Alright, well, we'll get over here and get turned around and we'll hop up on the old cat scale, the old kitty scale, and see what our weight's really at. Okay, so here's what the cat scale said. I'll throw it right up there. 11,360 on my steers, 32,620 on my drives, 33,000 even on the trailer, for a total of 76,980. My app weigh was telling me 11,992 on the steers, 32,111 on the drives, 33,407 on the trailer, for a total of 77,510. So it was actually a little bit low for the drives, and it was a little bit high for the trailer. This is a really, really flat concrete lot, so I found a good space to back up into, and I recalibrated my app weigh exactly to that cat scale. So I should be exactly on where I had it kind of calibrated a little high before, and if I remember right, when I had to recalibrate that, I was on hard dirt, I wasn't on concrete. So that was going to change it just a little bit. So, but it was within, pretty close, and my theory was correct. And had I added any fuel at all, which I needed to, because I was down to only a quarter of a tank, I still would have been over gross. So I'm glad I still made them get rid of that pallet. Now the good news is, now that I burned off more fuel up here to Waco, and because it's actually a little lower than I thought by just a little bit, I'm going to be able to almost completely fill up. It's probably going to shut me off at like $1,000, which is not even going to get me the 170 gallons I could put on anyway. So I'll be able to probably put on as much as the pump will let me. So there you go. All right, so we did some math. We got everything recalibrated again with a real heavy load. And yes, I was correct in making them take that pallet off, because had I had to put any fuel on, which I need to, I would have been over gross, and I don't want to deal with that. All right, well, sure enough, I was only able to put on, it stopped me at $990. $990 that was. Got 184 gallons on. I was able to put on 170 to be legal right then, but I knew I wouldn't hit a weigh station for a little while, and the one I just passed a little bit ago was closed. So we're good to go. So I was able to at least put on that amount. Thought I'd run the dash cam a little bit and everything as we go through all this traffic, and we're coming in right near downtown Fort Worth, Texas. It's there, believe me. It's just over the next hill. You can see it from quite a ways back, but then as we get closer, yeah, it's up over the next hill. We should be able to get a good shot of that here real soon. Of course, Snail traffic's already stacking up. It's 3:27 p.m. Plenty of people being ass wagons, like this truck next to me on the left, who's not supposed to be in that left lane. But he's been riding the left lane ever since Waco, so I'm not surprised. He would just be an asshole. Alright, so try to leave some space in front of me, but Texas drivers are like Chicago drivers. They're aggressive as hell. And they'll jump in front of any little space they can get right in front of your truck. So, you know, you gotta be ready for it.
2¼ miles. Keep left to I-35WX toll north.
Well, I'm not taking the toll part there, Garmin, but thank you anyway. It's one thing that, you know, none of these GPSs are perfect, and the Garmin kept wanting to route me onto the toll, the express toll. Well, you can't be in the express lane in most cities, except Cleveland. I-271 is one of the few that I know of that trucks can be in the express lanes. Which makes sense that the express lanes really should be just for us. Because the majority of us are going straight through. We're not stopping. Let us get out there in the express lanes away from everybody else. But, you know, that's never going to happen. That would make sense. Alright, yeah, come on out in front of me there, Mr. Land Rover. Alright, you can kind of start to see downtown over there to the left. Watch it because I'm going to watch the traffic. These Texas interchanges just always boggle my mind how high up they go. Look at this. They love building ramps out here in Texas, baby. Everything's bigger in Texas. Ain't that the truth? See all the brake lights coming on again. Ran into this on my way down coming through here. Well, didn't get as good a shot of downtown as I'd hoped, but what are you gonna do? Trying to make it up at least into Oklahoma tonight. See if that'll happen. And at least I got loaded, and they did take that pallet off, so I think unless something else terrible goes wrong, we should be able to make the trip to New York. Well, I guess I'm going to have to eat my own words. I see trucks over there in the express lanes, so I guess maybe here in Texas, you can be in the express lanes, you just have to be willing to pay the toll, which I am not. Not with the way the rates are these days. You know, the company doesn't pay for those, I pay for those. So, I'm not going to run the toll if I don't have to. But yeah, I do see plenty of trucks over there, so. Actually, traffic moving through here pretty good. It just got a little congested there for a while, but kind of back up to speed. So, just got to get up here to 287, another 7 miles, and we'll head off to the northwest up there towards Armadillo, as I always call it, or of course Amarillo. Where, of course, if you don't know, you can get a free 72-ounce steak at the Big Texan. I'm sure you've seen things like that in movies. I know there was a John Candy movie or something like that. I think they called it the old 96er in that one. It was the Great Outdoors. But yeah, if you finish a 72-ounce steak, it's free. I'm full on a 16-ounce steak, and that's a big steak. Imagine 72 ounces. Hello! Yeah, so overall, what it all came down to is, yes, because I had, before, that last time, set my app weight a little bit higher. You know, it was pretty close, but anyway, so while I was at the shipper this morning, yeah, I would have been, well, you know, after I weighed, when I got to Waco, and I was just right about 77,000 pounds. I burned off fuel, remember, I drove 175 miles between there and Waco. And so that would have added probably another, 300 pounds. So that pallet they took off, if you add that back in, it was probably close to 2,500 pounds. So that would have put me over the gross right there, or real close to it. And I couldn't add any fuel because I was down to a quarter tank. So I knew I had to, the farthest I could make it was Waco, where I could try to get to the cheaper fuel. And so there was no way, if I had to stop every, just to put on enough for a quarter of a tank, there's no way, that's not realistic, Besides, the card will tend to shut you off after you try to use it too many times. So, I'm glad I had them pull that off, because it was still, well, bottom line is it comes down to, it was still heavier than they said that load was going to be. So, because like I've said before, I can take, after this remodel, 42.5 with full tanks. I think what happened is they weren't counting, and this happens a lot with shippers, they count the load, but they don't count the pallets. You put 21 pallets on there, well, you're adding another 2,100 pounds. I bet you that's where most of the problem came from. That I run into that a lot. I've run into that a lot in this industry. They count, the product, the weight of the product, but they don't count the pallets it's sitting on. Each pallet's about 100 pounds. Morons. So I blame the shipper, and then when I found out later, talking to the broker again, the one who had been sending me those texts saying, we'll give you $100, you got to just take it, you got to go, blah, 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 trying to threaten me, saying, well, we'll pull the whole load. That was the sales rep at the broker. It wasn't the shipper who I thought it was. So, yeah, and when I talked to the other guy I'd been talking to most of the time, this broker, and I said, so that was your sales rep, huh? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, your tone of voice tells me all I need to know about that person. Not to mention she couldn't spell to save her life in her texts. Can't believe that. But, alright. So here I am parked in Armadillo, Amarillo, Texas, the top side of it, at this little toot and totem. Better place to park than all the ones down there off of I-40. Still half empty when I got here at 9 o'clock at night. And there's just dirt for Rusty. There's no grass because, it's panhandle of Texas. You're not going to expect grass out here. It's the dusty country, baby. Yeah. So anyway, here we are. With any luck, we're about 407 miles now from the delivery tomorrow. Should be 6 hours and 25 minutes maybe to get there. That also gives me time to fuel. They want me there by 3 p.m. I should be able to make that. And I have my backup plan. Even if I get there by 3 and they say, oh, well, we're not going to unload you today, I'll be like, fine, I'm leaving the trailer. You unload it when you want. I'll be back next week. After I get unloaded, or I deliver, or whatever happens, and I make it to the house, I'll try to post a real quick thing tomorrow night once I get home, just saying, hey, I made it. We'll be making the plane. I'll be making the wedding, because I know a lot of you have been following along through this little journey here, and you've been scoring at home going, is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? So, yeah, I'll at least do that. I'll just post something real quick that I make it home. So, I think short of a giant flaming panda landing in the middle of the highway or something like that, I should be able to make it. Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Tried to bribe me, and it sent me texts saying, yeah, you just need to run, go ahead and run. Yeah, got proof, you moron. And I couldn't believe when I found out it was actually the broker. Anyway. So, with any luck, we'll still make that plane, right, Rusty? Well, you're going to be home, but I'm going to New York. So, about 406 miles away right now. So, we can only hope. All right. Thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like and comment. I get to your comments as soon as I can. Sometimes takes a couple days because I'm a working truck driver. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty. Out. Now, I did not know about the little baby Jack's feature superpowers. Now, I did not know about the little baby Jack's superpowers, so I had to improvise. So, this is with her suit. Oh, shit. So I did not know about Jack, the little baby's superpower, so I had to improvise. This one withstands great force, is flame retardant, and machine washable. That's a new feature, darling. Spot. No, come on back down. I gotta throw it first. I haven't thrown it, Rusty. It's here. Come down. There it goes. All right. Yeah, you're sitting on it. All right, happy dog. Happy dog. Ooh, a big crumb went over here. You got to go get that. It's on the top step, Rusty. Go get it. There you go. All right. Here's my little piece. Love them bacon strips. All right, give us the happy dog look. Look up here.